Morning. Welcome back to the house of God's Word. It's good to see everyone when we come together. What a song to sing on a morning like this. As we have been looking at the book of Peter, it says we have a living hope. See, your hope is only as strong as the one on which it is hinged on. Yung ating pag-asa po ay kasing lakas o kasing dibay lang kung saan nakasandigan ito. No? Although life is often looked at na para ka nakasakay sa roller coaster, you see things and you don't know what will happen next. We have a God who built the roller coaster. Amen? And so that's what we look for and look to in our hope. Today we're going to look at, we've been talking about holiness. Ano ba yung holiness? Ano yung, and we understood certain things about, holiness. And today I want to talk about that we are called to be holy. I'm going to back up a little bit para ma-review natin the last three things that we talked about. Pag pinag-usapan natin ang holiness is often, ang tao have a wrong understanding of holiness. Banal. Iniisip natin, we equate it to perfection. So dapat, kapag holy ang isang bagay, it must be perfect. It must be magical. Dapat lang, it just happens. No? And so many Christians struggle with the concept of holiness, and yet we know that God called us to be holy. Nagsistruggle tayo about the understanding of holiness, pero alam naman natin na utos ng Panginoon for us to be holy. It's a struggle to do that. It's almost as hard as keeping a house clean when you have a house full of boys. Sabi niya, meron isang survey na binabasa ko, tawa eh. Sabi niya, ang karamihan daw ng trabaho ng nanay sa bahay ay linis ng bahay. Dampot ng dampot. Ang karamihan naman ng trabaho ng tatay ay patay ng lahat ng bagay. Ilaw, gripo, shower, kahit patay siya ng patay kasi pwede mo yan naiiwan. Sabi na, may trabaho ng mga magulang sa bahay. All they do is either they wash stuff or clean stuff or turn things off or on. It's a struggle to do that, but holiness we need to view holiness as a different way, because what happens today is the meat of the message is hopefully will give sense to you when you say, bakit nga ba? So what, Pastor? That's the big question in every preaching. As a communicator, as a pastor, as a preacher, the number one thing you want to answer at the end of your entire message is yung sagot na so what? In my homiletics class, or what they call the art of preaching, when I teach my class, I always tell them, you have to answer the question, so what? Yung bang, ano ngayon? Tama? Bakit ko kailangan gawin yan? Bakit ko kailangan paniwalaan yan? Kasi you can present all the facts, you can present everything, pwede mo ilagay lahat ng gusto mo ilagay, but if you don't tell people, bakit nila kailangan gawin yun? Bakit mahalaga yun? Then it's useless. No, information lang. Maraming information. You get a bunch of information. So today I want to brush up a little bit on what we've been talking about in order for us to end up with where we are. Okay? So let's understand, usap natin ang holiness. Holiness is equal to the design of God. Okay? If you are a Christian, kung tinanggap mo na si Jesus Christ in your heart as your Lord and Savior, okay? God did not only die for you, He also designed you to be holy. Talaga, Pastor? Hindi ako pakasama akong tao. Ba? Noong isang araw, mamamatay tao na ako. Ngayon, Christian na ako na mamamatay tao. Noong isang araw, adik ako. Nasave ako ngayon. Christian ako na adik. Ang hirap kaya nun. Right? But holiness, after salvation, pagkatapos pagkatapos ng kaligtasan is a part of God's design for you. Para kung magulang, hindi palibasan iluwan mo yung bata sa mundo. No, sa tatay, pinanganak yung anak mo, pinirmahan mo yung birth certificate, hindi palibasan ganun na iluwan nyo na yung bata sa mundo, pamamayaan nyo na. Wala kayong iniisip, wala kayong plano, wala kayong panaginip para sa bata. At wala kayong kamagulang. Meron kang design, meron kang panaginip, meron kang gustong mangyari sa anak mo. Of course, some parents naman, unrealistic yung panaginip. Ako po isang guidance counselor, I have heard the most unrealistic parents and met them in my entire life. Really, seriously. Meron akong mga magulang na-appreciate ko naman at least, sabi ko sa mga tao natin, libre naman panaginip, no? Pero sabi niya, sometimes yung ibang parents, yung kanilang pananaginip ay naging obsession para sa kanilang mga anak, and it's not realistic. Hindi mangyayari. Unless some kind of miracle happens. Hindi. I'm sorry to break it to you. Mali po si Whitney Houston. Pag sinabi niya, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. Mali din po yung kasabihan. Na pag inisip po, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. Okay? Kasi there are certain specific limitations na meron tayo. In fact, success is learning to live with limitations and finding something good to do with it. I heard some crazy. I remember I was doing group therapy when I was an intern at a big government hospital, the largest one in the southeastern United States, and I was an intern there sa psychiatry department. And as I was there, I was leading group therapy. Ito po industrial therapy. That was my actual line ng counseling industrial therapy sa Amerika. I sat there, meron akong 15 na mga pasyente. Okay? I was in the chronic ward. Pag sabi chronic ward po sa mental hospital sa Amerika, ibig sabihin, malamang buong buhay na silang nandun. Okay? So I asked them industrial therapy, ang goal na ito sa trabaho. So tinanong ko yung isa, what do you want to do when you get out of here? Kasi we teach them basic skills. Ang sabi ng isa, I want to be a computer guy. Okay, realistic ka kasi we teach them basic skills, typing, and coding. And yung isa talagang pasyente namin, paglabas niya, nakalabas siya, medicated, nakalabas siya, naging encoder siya sa computer. Very good, di ba? Maganda. Sabi ng isa, I want to be an artist. Ay talaga magaling sa art. Okay? So alam na, karamihan ng mga magaling sa art, may konting nilaling talaga yan. Kaya, yung mga musicians natin, basta marunong sa art, may konting sayad yan. Okay? Mga artists, musicians, ganyan. Okay, hey, I'm one of you guys. Okay, so I'm there. Okay, like I said, kunin mo yung kapansanan mo, gawin mo sa tama. Pero yung mga artists, yung mga artistic creative tasks, may konting sayad yan. May konting sayad yan. Doon lumalabas yung creativity nila, di ba? So, it's just like, okay, really fine. Sabi ng isa, una yung isa, mga 375 pounds. Okay, yung pangalan, Mike. We call him Big Mike. Okay, Big Mike, your turn. What do you want to do when you get out? He says, I think I want to be an astronaut. Una sa lahat, kasi laki na siya ng rocket ship. Okay? And bilang ako yung counselor, I can't just say, you can't do that. Siyempre, bawal sa amin yun. Pero kailangan pag-isipin mo silang malinaw. Therapy po eh, no? So I asked, okay, Mike, that's pretty cool. Hindi mo discuss, kailangan ikaw engineering something, tapos kailangan nasa military ka, tapos kailangan may postgrad ka. Ang haba po niya bago makarating tayo sa astronaut, no? Okay, Mike, why do you want to be an astronaut? Ba't gusto mo maging astronaut? Well, I found that astronauts have anong skill? Industrial therapy. What skill do you think is required from being an astronaut? Sabi niya, I think being an astronaut is cool because you can go to the moon. Pwede ka na sa moon, o nga naman, diba? And all you have to do is know how to count to 10 backwards. Napaisip ako. Sabi ko, saan nila basa yun? Para maging astronaut ka, kailangan mo lang marunong magbilang ng hanggang 10 pero paatras. Ito talaga nag-click sa isip ko. Kasi by that time, napaparin na ako sa pasyente ko eh. Sino ko gusto maging astronaut, okay? Halos 400 pounds, hindi siya makakain sa rocket ship. Okay? Nasa mental hospital kami dalawa. Okay? Pinagkaiba namin, may science ako, may science siya, pero may lab coat ako. Ilang pinagkaiba namin dalawa. Sabi ko, can you show me how to do that? Sabi, see, you can be an astronaut. Di ka pwede maging astronaut. I can be an astronaut. Sabi ko, oh, okay, sige. Go, tell me now. Look, you sit still. So ako naman, siyempre, therapist is, nakinupo ka tabi niya. With your hands to your lap. Dalawa kami. Okay, you ready? Okay, this is how easy it is to be an astronaut. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! See? Then you go to the moon. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, pagpakin ko itong bakit niya hinahanap eh. Sabi niya, what do you say? Nothing. Napatagal ako eh. So, talking ko ito eh. Niloloko ko ito, bakit niya hinahanap niya? Astronaut, kailangan count to 10 matras. Astronaut, kailangan nga naman, kasi nga naman, sa palabas sa sine, ilan naman, di ba? Tapos lilipat yung rocket ship mo. No, paglipot mo sa kama, sa may boarding, McDonald's doon, moon na agad yun. No? Sometimes we have a distorted view of ourselves, distorted view of our life. Magkaiba po yun sa dream. When Jesus says, when God says, you're called to be holy, after you accept Christ as Savior, your design is for God, for you to be holy. Being written in 1 Peter, the letters of Peter was written sa isang grupo ng mga Christians who are basically about to die. Papatayin na po sila. Give or take 3 to 5 years, they will go to die. It's weird, no? Parang tayo nakikibasa ng letter, nakikibasa tayo ng text ng may text, Facebook ng may Facebook chat, no? Kasi ito, we're reading a private letter to the church who is about to be killed. And Peter reminds them by saying, you are a chosen people, a royal priest, a holy nation for God's very own possession. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God. There's the word, for he, and thou. What's the word for he? Called you out, kaleo, out of darkness into his wonderful light. Dear friends, I warn you as temporary residents and foreigners. Sa King James, I love it. It says, aliens and strangers. Temporary residents and foreigners. Keep away from worldly desires that wage war against your very souls. Be careful to live properly among your unbelieving neighbors. Then, if they accuse you of doing wrong, they will see your klaseng behavior daw yan. Honorable behavior. And they will give honor to God when He judges the world. We understood, pag pinag-usapan natin ito, na holiness is equal to consecration. Pastor, ang lalaki naman ng word natin. Ano po yung consecration? Well, consecration basically means, and holiness means to be set apart, naka-reserve ikaw para sa Panginoon. Diyan pala, pwede natin tumigil. No? Ngayong buling ko ito, kaya natin i-reserve ang buhay natin. Have we reserved it for jobs, for businesses, for everything except for God? Holiness means to be set apart or reserved for God. A result of a daily walk and obedience to God to be surrendered sa Holy Spirit sa lahat ng bagay. Yan po ang holiness and consecration in a nutshell, in a small definition. Nakabukod para sa Panginoon. Hindi ibig sabihin bawal ka magtrabaho. Hindi ibig sabihin bawal ka magkontrata. Hindi ibig sabihin bawal lahat ng bagay. It does say, you ask God first. In my house, there's a golden rule between my wife and I. I can go anywhere, do anything, and be anything I want to be, so long as I ask her first. In other words, hindi ako pwede basta-basta umalis ng bahay dahil gusto ko umalis. Hindi naman po dahil sa humingi ako ng permission. Pero dahil asawa ko siya, at asawa niya ako, dapat hindi ako bastos at walang pakundangan na basta umaalis ka sa bahay. Na hindi lang ng asawa ko sa pupunta. So kung kayo po ay gano'n na asawa, ikaw ay isang bastos at walang pakundangan na asawa. Saan mo magsalita ang bastos? Lunes na lunes. Kasi po, nung nag-asawa kayo, part po yan. You have to regard your wife. You're not asking for permission, but you're just respecting them. And saying, hey babe, I need to do this. I need to go to do this. I need to do this. Do you need anything before I do? Okay? Lalo na po sa Panginoon, ilan sa atin ang gumigising, ginagawa yung gusto natin gawin, hindi walang pakundangan o haliw sa Panginoon. We just do what we want to do. So holiness means, therefore, that it is a result of a daily walk with God. Now, we learned last week na holiness daw ay isang invitation before anything else. Ito ay isang invitation sa verse 15. Just as the Father has called you, from the Greek word kaleo, He called you out. Alam mo, invitation means come. Lahat ng bagay about Jesus has to start with come. Before He says you to go, He says come, lapit ka sa akin. Simula sa bata, hanggang maganda, sa may sakit, sa mga naghirap, He calls people to come. God calls you to come. He calls you to come closer. Para kami ang ilog papunta sa dagat. Ang dagat ba pumupunta sa ilog o ilog pupunta sa dagat? Sabi ni Bob, ang ilog mo niya, pastor ng tanong na yan. Parang tinanong mo sa'yo, anong muna, itlog o sisiw? The rivers flow into the sea. Just like Jesus. Just like the Father calls you. Sabi niya, for He has called you out, kaleo. Umalis ka dyan, pumunta ka sa akin. The reason why maraming tao Kristiyano na hindi nagbabago ang buhay ay pagkatapos mong tanggapin si Kristo bilang kapaligtas, bumabalik ka doon sa Poso Negro o sa kagaling. Tama? May kasabihan po sa kung saan parte ng Amerika ako lumaki. Sabi niya, you can take the pig out of the pen, but never the pen out of the pig. Pwede mo na alisin ang baboy sa babuyan, pero ang babuyan, hindi mo na alis sa baboy. So, ang tatay ko maganda yung kanya. Sabi niya, ang tigre, hindi nawawala ng kulay. Dinodrawingan mo lang. Mga tigers, ginagawa itim sa mga sining, kinukulonan. Tigre pa rin yun. Palta mo ng kulay, tigre pa rin. Naaamo lang. In this way, God says, holiness means to come closer to God. Holiness is an invitation. Holiness is a command. Hindi lang siya invitation, utos din. Ano ibig sabihin ng utos? Notice what it says, I am holy, be holy. That comes from the word esomai in Greek. Esomai in Greek means to become, to cause, to make something holy. Notice what it says in Leviticus, the Galileans there. Sanctify, consecrate yourselves. We are commanded to preserve ourselves for God in His work. Sa bahay po namin, pag naglalaba ka, halo-halo ang damit kung minsan. Madali pong malaman ang damit ko. Alam mo na, Pastor, kasi parang kumot. Well, totoo din naman yun. Ano pa? Amuyin mo. Okay? Bakit? Kasi po, mabango. Hindi po ako nagyayabang. Never ako nagkaputok. mataba ako pero hindi ako mabantot. Bata pa ako sa akin. Right? We're commanded. Naka-preserve. Po. Naka-preserve. When you look at my stuff, where I am, everything I use, you know it's mine kasi naka-preserve yan. Sa buong kabahayan namin na punong-puno kami doon, reserve po yung bagay na yan sa akin. So, we are commanded to preserve ourselves for God and His work. Utos po yan. I am holy. Be holy. Pastor, ayoko Ayoko maging holy. Kasi gusto kong gawin yung gusto ko. Gusto ko sundulin yung dating gawin ko. Kasi mas magbilis akong makakuha nung what I feel I could get. Right? That's our main struggle with holiness. Ang number one na kalaban sa holiness sa sarili natin. Kasi nasanay tayo na pag gusto natin, gagawin natin ng paraan. As sabi sa Bible, there's a way that looks right to a man, but the end of it is death. Kaya sabi sa Bible merong isang paraan, yung dati mong paraan, dati mong ugali, dati mong style, dati mong binubuhan sa'yo gusto mo, na mukhang tama sa'yo, pwede mo ilagyan ng dahilan yan. Kunyari, nagnakaw ka, sasabihin mo, magsishare naman ako sa iba Hindi naman ako magbibisyo Nagnakaw ka pa rin Ganun din. It's still the same. Tama? Sa politics, ginagawa yan. Mga politics, they do that all the time. Mga politiko, they do that all the time, right? Hindi naman sila sisirain para makagastos ng kaban ng bayan. No? Ba't hinuhukay yung tubo? Naghahanap ng treasure. Anong treasure, Pastor? Nandun sa munisipyo, i-request mo na. Nandun ang treasure. Right? And then they'll say, para naman sa kabutihan ng iba Tama? Tayo mga Christian, ganun din. You will do something wrong, hahanapan mo ng reason for it to be right. It's wrong. And when we violate the command of God, command yan Command. Bigyan ka ng maganda. Gusto mo malaman ko ng pakiramdam ng pagsaway sa Panginoon ng lantaran. Ibig sabihin, alam mo mali, ginawa mo. Sabi ng Bible, ito it says, for did you not know that disobedience is equal to witchcraft? In other words, kung sadyaan at alam mo susuway sa utos ng Panginoon, mabuti pa maging satanista ka na at magpupunan. Kasi ang tingin sa iyo ng Panginoon, mabuti pa, lumabang ka lang directly sa akin. Wala pa ako nakikitang tao na lantarang sumuway sa utos ng Panginoon at nabuhay. In fact, ang pinakamasarap sa taong gano'n, na lantarang sumusuway, gumagawa ng gulo, nagnanakaw, nag-violate ng Panginoon, mabuti pang mamatay na lang. Kaysa manatili kang buhay, na may sumpa ang buhay mo sa Panginoon. Bakit? Kasi lahat ng tao sa paligid mo, hindi rin mapapagpala ng Panginoon. Nasubukan niyo mo pumasok sa smoker's lounge, yung nadaan ka lang. No, nagpunta kami 2 years ago dyan sa, yung hotel na may fountain na maganda, sa Okada. Ang problema exit mo doon, dadaan ka sa casino. May harang naman. Hindi mo nakikita, madala ka mga bata. O hindi pala fountain show yung smoker's lounge, yung buong hotel. As in, hindi kayo mga anak ko dumadaan lang. Sa gilid nakaharang pa. Nag-complain kami sa management, kailangan ba dito dumaan? Kasi gusto na i-showcase yung mga ibang parts ng hotel. Wow! Paglabas ko, nagpalit ako ng pangalan. Imbis na ni James, nagpalit ako. Naging Philip. Boris. Yung anak ko si Mar. Boro. Si Adi naging Hope. Bakit? Nag-iosip ba kami? Hindi. Dumaan lang kami. Ano nangyari? Naambihan kami ng usok na hindi namin nakikita. Pero paglabas namin, para akong kotse, tumako sa kotse. Ganun din. Paglantara ka, hindi sumunod sa Panginoon, Mangangamoy ka. Mamaya, dadating tayo dyan. At lahat ng tao sa paligid, apektado. Hindi lang ikaw. Kasi it's a direct command to be holy. What else, Pastor? It's not only a direct command to be holy. Holiness also is a walk. A daily walk. What do you mean, Pastor? Pag sinabi natin daily walk, there has to be a preparation for action. Hindi ka pwede tumayo lang dito, mamaya forward ka, umiyak ka pa sa God! Gusto ko maging holy! Tapos hinihintay may dumating. Nakidlat. Parang pag nahihirapan ka, pero kung singsing na pwede kagatin. Parang being holy. No, there's a preparation for action. To be clear-minded, hindi sabihin na sober. Clear-minded. Set your hope fully on the grace of God. Hope, pinag-usap natin. You don't become holy by desiring to be holy. You prepare and you act on your holiness. Kailangan gumalaw ka. The holiness is an outward manifestation of the inward work of the Holy Spirit in you. Ibig sabihin, ang kabanalan ay panlabas na pagpapakita sa ginagawang pagkilos ng Espiritu sa loob ng puso mo. So kung walang makita sa paggalaw mo, walang makitang banal sa galaw mo, ibig sabihin, ang loob niyan bulok. Ganun na kasi. Ganun kasi yan. Parang baso ng tubig. Sometimes sa labas maganda, mukhang makintab. Testingin natin. So, truly kasi. Testing. Si Martin nagawa, si Martin nagawa. Mukha ba, ano yung sura? Mukhang malinis, makintab. Okay ba? Alamin mo. Mark, this is message sa'yo. Go ahead, try it. So, lock siya. Bakit? Hindi Sonox. Bakit kasi yung Sonox, ganito na yung tsura, di ba? It looks clear, it looks clean, lakson. Sonox na. Hindi, okay. Hindi na, okay. Thank you. This is a Sonox. Goldfish. Sa aquarium pala yung Holiness is an outward manifestation ng kasalukuyang ginagawa ng Panginoon sa banal na Espiritu sa buhay mo. So kung lumalabas sa kamay mo ay puro kabuktutan, ibig sabihin, ang loob niya, puro kabulukan. Holiness is possible only through the power and work of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit produces God's work in you. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. When the Holy Spirit controls our lives, He will produce. Ano napansin ko? When we are surrendered to the Holy Spirit, it's impossible. It's impossible for it not to come out. Parang yung baso kayo, pag sinake mo, makikita mo kung ano tunay na laman. Because holiness is a proclamation of God's work in you. Alam niyo yung proclamation? Paglalathala, pag-a-announce. Hindi ikaw na nag-a-announce. We just read earlier, right? We just read, sabi, what the Holy Spirit will produce, not you. Problema ng maraming Christian, pinipilit natin yung pasikat tungkol sa ginagawa ng Holy Spirit sa atin. So, not that. Look at 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. For you are a chosen people, a royal priest, a holy nation, God's very own possession. And then there's that word, bilang resulta o produkto. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God. Ibig sabihin, without holiness, you cannot. Yun ang opposite nun. Hindi kaya. Magbumukhang anyong palabas lang yan. Because He's called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. Again, back to the verse later, 11 to 12 of 1 Peter chapter 2. I warn you as temporary residents and foreigners. Temporary residents and foreigners. Keep away from worldly desires and wage war against your souls. Notice what Peter says. Keep away. I was reviewing that this morning and I have to ask the question. I really have to. I have to ask Pastor James, are you trying to keep away from the things that wage war on your soul? Sinusubukan mo ba? Pinipilit mo ba na lumayo sa mga bagay na gagawa ng gulo sa buhay mo? Kasi mga kapatid, ang diablo, ang pwede lang niyang gawin ay mag-suggest. Okay? Linawin mo po. Hindi po ito si Harry Potter at hindi po ito si Thanos at saka si Captain Marvel. Hindi po, walang good and evil na banan. One day panalo, one day talo, one day panalo. No. Malinaw ang Bible dyan. It says, keep away. The best way to succeed from the attacks of Satan is to keep away. Run away. Ang problema ng maraming tao, mga kabataan, problema ng marami sa mga kabataan lalo natin. Mga tatay, problema ng mga tatay. Mga nanay, problema ng mga nanay. Businessman, mag-represent si Satan. Ito naman pwede gawin eh. That's all Satan can do, is to present. He cannot make you. Hindi ka pwedeng pilitin ni Satan na mabuhin yung buhay mo. Mag-present lang siya. O ito, ang ginagawa natin, ina-analyze natin, parang kailangan ko na. Parang gusto ko yan. Baka naman di masyadong masama. Lapit ka ba? Oo nga. Yung napapansin ko pagdating po sa kasalanan, habang lumalapit tayo sa kasalanan, paganda siya ng paganda. Paganda siya ng paganda. Habang lumalapit ka sa bawal, paganda ng paganda. Bakit sa patay, ang favorite topic, how to be healthy? 90% of all conversations sa mga burol, paano hindi mamatay? Kasi bawal talaga kainin yan. Hindi dapat yan, di ba? Tapos punta ka sa buffet. Pero parang masarap eh. Napasin mo kasi galing yung ads. Noong unang panahon, nakalagay dyan, the Surgeon General says, the cigarette smoking can be bad for your health. Ang ganda pa rin yan, di ba? Okay, pinatan. The Surgeon General says, smoking can kill. Medyo brutal na ng konti. Ngayon, di ba na? Ano na? Ano yung issue ng smoke? Ng pakit na smoke? Tanggal yung tenga, iisa ipin, lakan yan, nakahiga sa salik. Tatakalagay ako, smoking can kill you. A few weeks ago, may mama sa grocery store. Hindi siya bumili ng isa. Bumili siya 3, 4 na pakete. Ang tindi ni Manong. Bihikan pa. Iba-ibang design ng mga tao na mamatay. Pero tanggal ang ilong, tanggal ang ipin, tanggal ang buong katawan, basak yung bagay, iba-iba. Anong collector's item? Warning! Ang laki! Nakapakit! Dati sa likod lang, parang warning ka. Ngayon hindi na. Nakabalot sa buong natatakpan. Hindi na natakpan yung pangalan ng label eh. Nakalagay warning! Smoking causes cancer. Warning! Smoking can kill your loved ones. Yung mga ganun na, kantahan na. Pag ako nabayaran kumuha niya, gagawa ko sa ganda. Tagalog. Ang piliin mo, nakalagay, piga mo ba? Tigilan mo yung nagawa mo yan. Yung mga ganun ba? Pag dinampot mo ko, mamamatay ka ngayon. Sa mga trabaho sa sideline ako maglalagay ng warning. Hoy, Eddie! yan. Oy, buboy, tigilan mo yung kalokohan yan. Nakugutom na pamilya mo. Yung mga ganun ka. Wala, kasi but you know, when you see those warnings malayo, you don't see them. But the closer you come to them, the more beautiful and attractive. I don't know why they become. I never got into smoking. So I must admit, I tried. Kasi sabi ng mga kapit ko, malamig daw dito. Eh, nung kumain ako ng host, pati dito malamig eh. Eh, di host na lang. Diba? Okay, gusto malamig, magpa-aircon ka. But, gusto mo lang sense sa akin ng smoking. But the closer you get to it, the nicer it becomes. Maganda ng maganda. Sa isip mo, bawal magnakaw. Pag nasa lamesa, sa internet, itigil mo kalokohan. Tama? Eh, may free data ka. Sayang lang. Wala nang makakalam. Pwede namang i-incognito na lang. Tapos i-erase mo yung searches. Oh. Would you take this? Kahit mabura mo lahat yan, nasa hard drive mo naman dito. What do you do? Tama? Masama pang babae ang lalaki. Hindi ko naman ginagawa yun. Tines ko lang, musta na? Balik mo sa kanya. Net-net mo. Paso, kinakamusta ko lang. Yung bang pinakapakit na babae sa buong office nyo, minusta na mo. Ingat! Ulisi. Ingat! Anyways, how are you? Style gulo. Come on! Huwag tayo maglokohan. Diba? Masama mag-chismis. Pero pag inilagay sa prayer request, ipag-pray natin sa ano? May ano yan? Aanohin kita. But the farther you are, the better you are. But you see, holiness is a proclamation of the work of God in you. Why? Because you become a showcase. You know what is a showcase? You know what's a showcase of God's glory and purpose? Alam mo yung showcase? Ha? Pinapakita. You grandstand. Magka-graduation naman. Yung mga ibang parents dito, tinawag sa harapan. No? Yung anak mo nakakuha ng honor. No? Most something. Diba? Best in ganito. Most giving. Yung mga nakakuha ng feminist, diba? Most something. Yung mga magulang, wow, grabe. Yung mga bata hiyang-hiyang eh. Tumatakbo sa harapan para maisuka sa uwi niya. Yung magulang hindi, akala mo kasal. Ako po bilang administrator sabihin, Brad, di ka yung anak ko. Kulang lang, so ito pala sa sarili nila eh. What are they doing? They're showcasing. They're showcasing. Minimedra yung anak, may hawak certificate. Kailangan lahat ng angulo makuha. Alam niyo ba sabihin ko sa inyo bilang photographer? Kahit anong sabihin mo at galing ang photographer mo, kahit anong angulo mo ilagay, pag pango ang ilong mo, pango pa rin yan. Unless yung Photoshop natin. Okay? Paano mo lang malalaman pango yan? Pag umuula, nalulunod ka. Kasi nakatingala eh. Huwag mo sisingin ang magulang mo na malaki ang butas ng ilong mo, yung tinuruan ng bata ka. Yung naglilis ka ng ilong, ginagamit mo ng tamos. Okay? Come on. But we grandstand the showcase, right? But when we are holy, it showcases. What does it mean, Pastor, when we showcase? We become holy vessels. We become a showcase of God's greater purpose. Yung buhay natin. If anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonorable, He will be a vessel for honorable use, set apart, consecrated, set apart as holy and useful for the master of the house, that's God, ready for every good work. I'm sorry to tell you to some people here, but let me tell you this, okay? God takes honor in honorable vessels. Ang talento po, 2-5 lang. Ang husay, 2-5 lang. Ang style, 2-5 lang. Ang kakayahan, 2-5 lang. Pero ang tunay na ginagamit ng Panginoon ay yung mga tao gusto mo natiling gagamit-gamit dahil sila'y malinis para sa Kanya. As holy vessels, we become a showcase for God's greater purpose. When we are holy also, all our experiences, good and bad, this is hard, can be viewed from God's sovereignty and used for His glory. First Peter, remember in church, mamatay na sila, di ba? They stumbled because they disobeyed the word as they were destined to do. But you are a chosen generation, race, a royal priesthood. What? A people for His own possession, that you might proclaim the excellencies of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. Pagka ikaw ay kagamit sa Panginoon, even your present day, yung panandaliang pinagdadaanan mong sakit at sakit sa buhay, becomes a reminder of God's future promise. To some of you are going through some hard times today, I pray for you, but I can't tell you na mawawala lahat yan. I can tell you, there's no verse in the Bible that says, kaya mong pagalingin lahat ng tao. Because even si Jesus, hindi lahat pinagaling niya. Napasa niyo ba yun? Nasa Bible yun, nagpagaling siya, bumuhay siya ng patay. Notice in the resurrection of Lazarus, ang sabi niya, Lazarus, come forth. You know why he said Lazarus? Kasi kung sinabi niya lang na come forth, lahat ng patay doon mabubuhay. Sometimes it's not God's will for us to recover. Sometimes it's not God's will for us to be okay. Sometimes kahit mag-try tayo na mag-try, kalooban ng Panginoon na mawalan tayo o dumaan tayo sa kawalan. But even that, when given to God, becomes a reminder that one day, everything will be made right. Ano yung sabihin ng pastor? We said there will be one day that there will be no more sickness and no more pain. And that's in heaven. There will be one day na lahat ng taong gumagawa ng masama at kasuwayan sa Panginoon ay magbabayad sa panghuhusga ng Panginoon. Kung dumaan ka sa may mga tao na lamang sa'yo, nang daya sa'yo, nanakit sa'yo, one day, pagbabayaran nila sa Panginoon. Mas mahirap magbayad sa langit kaysa sa lupa. Sometimes I pray the Lord, kung mali po ako, papalusuhan mo ako, dito na lang po. Para pag nandito sa langit, okay na tayong dalawa. Kasi iyo kong tanongin mo ako, anak, anong ginawa mo sa ginawa ko sa'yo? Anak, anong ginawa mo sa pagpapala ko sa'yo? Anak, anong ginawa mo sa ganito sa'yo? One day, everything will be all right. Last, when we are holy, your life becomes a worship to God and a showcase to others. When we are holy, your life becomes a showcase, a worship to God and a showcase to others. Be imitators of God. Be imitators of God. Walk in love as Christ loved us and gave Himself for us. A fragrant offering, an aroma sa iba, and the sacrifice to God. When you are holy, Your life, nagiging kapurihan sa Panginoon, hindi sa'yo. And ikaw nagiging showcase sa Panginoon to others. I'm going to ask you to do something now as I close. Okay? I was going to take both hands like this. Yan, yan. Tapos pag tigitin mo gano'n, yan, tapos takpa mo yung mukha mo, nakalabas yung ano. Ayan, ha? Ready? When I count to 3, I want you to do something. I want you to smell your hands. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ano naman mo? Ito, parang pangit. Sabi nila, in our outward body, ang kamay daw ang hindi nakamarumi. In fact, they can tell if they scan it kung saan ka lang galing at anong ginawa mo prior. My hands smell of my cologne and coffee. 2 things I did this morning. Kahit anong alis ko dyan, ang coffee beans, nasa dugo ko na agad sa dami na aking. Sabi kasi sa doktor ko, Pastor, kaya mo mag-isang kape lang? Opo, Dok. No problem. Pag-check na uric acid, mataas pa rin. Bakit mataas? Isang kape lang ba bilang? Isa lang po. Teka, Pastor. Gano'n ka na kayo? Hindi mo tinanong yan eh. Tabo eh. It tells you where your hands have been. Kahit anong ganda nito, okay? Kahit anong bango ng buong katawan, yung kamay mo, sasabihin kung saan yan ang galing. In fact, pag ano tayo dito yung mga high-tech na sinascan, yung mga germs at kung ano, makikita kung saan ang galing ang kamay mo. May tanong ako eh. Hindi ko naman sabi, amoy langit, dapat yan. May tanong ako. May amoy ba nagawa ni Kristo yan? Saan ginamit ko kamay? If your hands speak of what it has done for Jesus, what do your hands smell like? Saan nagpunta yung kamay mo? Anong ginawa niyo? Kasi sabi, fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. What have your hands done? What does it smell like? Does it smell like anger? Do your hands smell of money? Do your hands smell of the work you did? How much of the smell in our hands speak of what we've done for God? Today, yesterday, the other day, this past week. Kasi what happens in our heart comes out in our hands. Yung nangyayari sa puso natin, lumalabas sa kamay natin. And my prayer this morning is if you know your hands ay napunta sa maling lugar, gumawa ng maling bagay, ginawa lahat ng bagay pwera sa pinapagawa ng Panginoon, I promise you, hindi yan malulutas ng isang plain simple prayer. Lord, make me holy. It's not going to happen. You know what will happen? It will need to have action to say, God, paano ko itatama yung pinaggagawa ng kamay ko para sa iyo? God, I want my life and my hands to do your work, not just for me. How much of what I've done this week, Lord, puro sa sarili ko lang, rather than you, starts with allowing the Holy Spirit to work at ayusin. You see, when we are holy, we become a showcase to others. We become a showcase to others. Dear Father, we come before you this week. Lord, alam mo po yung puso ng bawat isa. Alam mo po, Panginoon, yung isip ng bawat tao. Alam mo po kung saan nakarating ang aming mga spiritual na kamay at ang aming tunay, Panginoon, yung umaraming. Bayaan mo nga po, Panginoon, na kami magsimula na mauhaw para sa kabalan. Help us, Lord, this morning. And from this moment forward, to thirst and to hunger after your holiness. Ikaw lang po, Panginoon, ang makakagawa. Kasi Panginoon, if we continue, pag nagpatuloy po kami sa aming dating gawin, sa aming parating gusto, magiging tuloy ang kasiraan lang po ito sa amin at sa mga tao sa ating paligid. We will be a detriment and a damage to the people that you have so lovingly placed in our lives. We will cause hurt and harm to those, Father, that really need guidance from you. And so this morning, create a hunger for holiness things. Maybe there's a person here this morning, or those watching live. If you're here, you're saying to yourself, you know, Pastor, I want to know God. Like, I want to imitate Christ like that. Ayoko ng religion or anything. I want to know God in that. It starts with a relationship with Christ. Do you know what time, may naalala ka bang panahon sa buhay mo that you accepted Christ as Savior? When you said to God, God, ito po yung buhay mo. Please, please, Lord, change my life. Kasi pag hindi mo po ako binabapan, I will destroy my life. It starts with that. So if you're there today, would you simply pray the simple prayer? Say to God, Lord Jesus, andito po ako today. Here I am today. Lord, I have sinned against you. Nagkasala po ako, Panginoon, sa iyo. Lord, patawad po. Baguhin mo po ang buhay ko. Please change my life. Let me start walking and following you. Mabuhay ako, Panginoon, na sumunod sa paglakad sa iyo, Panginoon. My friend, there's no magic in that prayer. But it's just a simple, sincere desire to know God and to follow Him. Heavenly Father, as your people here this morning, teach us to have a constant hunger for your holiness. Teach us, Lord, to have a constant desire, Panginoon, sumunod sa iyo. Yung mga maling ginawa namin, pinagagawa namin, help us, Panginoon, na itama ito. Na sumunod uli sa iyo, Panginoon. To follow you, Lord. To face our consequences, to do right. Na gawin namin yung tama, Panginoon. Kasi, Panginoon, pag hindi kami gumawa ng tama, masusumpa mo kami, Panginoon. We will be a curse and a curse to the people, Lord, na nasa paligid namin. Instead of vessels of honor, mga sisidlan, Panginoon, ng karangalan, magiging sisidlan kami, Panginoon, na lagyan ng kahihiyan at ng kasamaan. Panginoon, help us be that kind of vessel, an honorable vessel, Lord, fit only for your use. Please, I pray. Do not let us leave this place, Panginoon, na hindi namin binibigay yan sa iyo. In your name, we pray, Father. We praise you, Lord. Amen.